This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, Jasen Dutch from The Voice from the Underground, the podcast, joins us to geek out about season 3 of Cobra Kai on Netflix.
Geek boner.
Plus, Chris Evans may be returning to the MCU as Captain America. Kevin Fiege confirms an R-rated Deadpool 3 is coming. And the streaming wars heat up as Netflix promises to deliver new movies every week this year.
What?
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, January 14th, 2021.
You know who this is, and you know why you're here. You want all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news, and by God, you found it. Forget everything else out there. Forget all the Scientology bullshit. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. Worship at the feet of the holy trio of geekdom, the Jock and Nerd podcast. Play it.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, what's up, listener? How's it going? And welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Ibram.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And joining us is a dude who started his own dojo where you can learn how to defend yourself with nothing but sandwiches. That's right. It's Sensei Rug Boy, and that's Rug Boy with an I, right, Rugs?
You can make nunchucks out of sausages.
What do you call your style of karate? Sandwich karate?
He says that and starts laughing at his own thing.
I just imagining how absurd it is.
Footlongs as nunchucks? Absolutely.
To use some suprasad as some nunchucks.
There we go. It's Super Sati Kai.
Rug
Yeah.
boy.
Rug
with an
boy.
I. That's like the fuck boy type.
He's the fuck boy of the Felties. Also joining us, returning guest from The Voice from the Underground, the podcast.
TJ Johnson?
It's not TJ
Son of a
Johnson.
Let me tell you about Tony.
Big
right?
house?
Tony ruins lives.
It's this guy.
Mikey Famine?
I'm very tired of the Tom Brady dick suck fest.
Jasen Dutch joining us again. How's it going? And of course, you had to bring up your least favorite festival right away.
Oh, yeah. So I'm the black sheep over at the one guy you didn't want to hear from. Guess what, fuckers? Here I am.
Be more appropriate if you were labeled at the white sheep, but yes, correct.
Yeah.
You know, we had a great string of guests the last 3 weeks, starting with Mikey Famine, and now we're here.
And it's over.
Yeah, now we're here now.
Now we ended up here.
Why don't you tell?
No more listeners.
Why don't you tell a new listener or someone maybe hasn't heard about The Voice from the Underground, the podcast, what the show's about? Jasen Dutch.
Yeah, well, it sucks balls. So the Voice from the Underground, and actually, I guess I was going to probably tell you guys this later. Well, Voice from the Underground has been around since 2017. You guys and I have, I don't know, probably 7 or so mutual listeners.
Maybe 8.
So it's fun in that way. So a few people out there know who I am. And they've already blocked me on Twitter, but we are 3 guys.
Shit.
Big Haas and I have been doing this for 3 years. Mikey joined us to replace Tony's boyfriend, TJ. About 7-8 months ago, we talked politics. We talked pop culture. Our 200th episode is going to be recorded live on YouTube on Sunday and will be the final episode of Voice from the Underground.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Which will be picked up immediately thereafter on Wednesday on the same feed, so you won't have to resubscribe to anything, by a new podcast, which is mostly going to be the same. So it'll still be lousy. So, don't worry. It'll
And be recorded above ground.
Is it above ground
yeah,
or
we're going to be
underground?
voiced from above ground now. We're going to be renaming the podcast Dig on America, DOA for short.
Oh, okay.
DOA, I like it.
Yeah, so we're going to have the shovel theme will still be there.
Yeah.
But it will be called Dig on America now, and we're just doing it to rebrand.
Cool.
Voice from the Underground will still be the overarching media company, if that means anything.
Sure.
I'm not sure what I'm going to rename or what, but, the YouTube channel maybe. I might leave it as VFU. I might not. I have to see how things go. But like on iTunes and for the live stream and everything like that, it'll be Dig on America. So you can get the dig.
Get the dig.
On America, and we're going to focus more on the politics now. We're going to kind of cut most of the pop culture out, but our tagline is going to be something like this. We're still refining it, but it's going to be a socio-political cake with pop culture sprinkles.
Oh, I like sprinkles.
Or something like that.
Cake is yummy, too.
What prompted the rebrand? Just you wanted to get a little bit more focused?
I've been thinking about doing it for like years because of a multitude of reasons. People keep calling up us voices from the underground or voices of, so people go searching for us and they find if you search voice of the underground or voice from underground,
I bet there's a bunch of shows
with completely different shit.
Yeah.
So it's been difficult from that particular standpoint. And on top of that, like when I tweet and stuff, it's long to write out. So,
Bro,
Dig on America.
Your current title has the word "the" in it 3 times. Let me just point that out.
The voice from the
This is true.
Wow.
So,
I've been telling Imran for like months to rename the show the Rug Boy Show,
it
but he
should be
won't do it.
Look, and it took me.
I like that. I like that Imran's now like the true feelings come out about how he's felt about your
I
title.
hate that name, and now this is much better. Look, it took me.
Fucking guy.
You
took me
son of a bitch.
Took me 6 years
We go through
to change our
just a
logo.
quick color scheme change, and this guy's now an expert on what the
It
name
took
is show
me
and how to
6
market it.
6 years to change our fucking shitty logo.
I like the new blue logo though.
We
I do.
needed to pay a guy $20 to tell us that we sucked or something.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it's something. I have don't listen to me, but I just wanted to point that out.
The hardest part's going to be getting like all the intros and everything because like I'm not paying Flavor Flav
Again.
Well, I didn't pay him the first time. One of our listeners did, but
Cameo.
his price went up to like $450.
No, he's not worth it.
Fuck yourself.
No, Flavor Flav is not worth a $450 cameo. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah.
Jesus
so
Christ.
Maybe I'll get I was going to get Tiny Lister, but he passed away a couple weeks ago, so that's out. He was only $75.
Well, that's exciting. Big news, though. Thanks for breaking it here. I love it.
This is the first place I've put teasers out there on Facebook and stuff, but this is the first place. And what better place? Our best buddy podcast, honestly. So, we know you're not our best friend, but
we're all friends.
Or vice versa.
We're all friends.
You're our best friend, but we're not yours. I get it. Right? So
no, whatever.
That's exactly how it works.
I guess how that works.
Yes.
All right.
You could tell by the things Imran had to say about you how he really feels.
now that I'm divorcing you, I just want you to know, I've always fucking hated the way your feet smell.
I hated your title. I hated your logo.
No, listen,
you guys suck.
And kill the white guy on the show.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about our show or their show. Anyways, okay.
Hey, wait a minute.
On with the shit show, you motherfucker.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Now let's talk about some dumb shit to escape the fucking insanity that is the real world. Big MCU news here, guys. Deadline. Sources telling Deadline that Chris Evans, it says, cleaning the dust off his Captain America attire as he is expected to reprise the role in the MCU in some form.
Geek Boner.
The article says it's still vague whether the deal is closed, but insiders say it's headed in that direction for Evans to return as Steve Rogers, a.k.a. Captain America, and at least one Marvel property with the door open for a second film. Sources add it's unlikely to be a new Captain America movie, more likely to be a cameo in something else. And it turns out Chris Evans, had been very public that he would be hanging up the shield after Avengers Endgame, passing it on to Anthony Mackie, which we'll see in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But apparently things had changed in recent months, it says, as the idea was floated of Evans returning to the MCU. And to see if there was any interest as the weeks went by, Evans became more game to the idea, with the two sides coming to an agreement at the top of the year. We thought we saw the last of Chris Evans, of Steve Rogers. Comments. What do you think? The last time we saw him in Endgame, he's looking like Joe Biden a little bit, so he's all old now, but he time traveled. Anthony, comment. Does this give you a geek boner?
Oh, I'm all in. Chris Evans is perfect casting for me as Captain America. And I like the idea of him coming back, maybe not in his own movie, but in not a cameo, but some sort of Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. role that he had in Civil War. I'm interested to see what they could do with him. I'm I'm pumped. Yeah, me too.
I'm pumped.
Yeah,
about Marvel's direction and where they're going. Like we talked about, I think last week, the year break really helped.
Yeah.
And I think bringing back Chris Evans, they have Chris Hemsworth in another Thor movie. Other than Robert Downey Jr., who I don't think they should bring back anytime soon. This is exciting news. Yeah, because he's dead. And I'm curious to see what kind of stories they have for him and what kind of role he's going to be back in. So all good stuff for me.
How do you bring him back? Ruggs, Chris Evans on Twitter tweeted news to me, which of course he can't say anything. They always do this. I don't trust when they fucking tweet shit.
Bunch of bullshit.
But what do you think of this? How could he come back? The possibilities are kind of unlimited as to how to bring him back, really.
I mean, they have a time machine, don't they?
Yeah.
They can go, so they can do all that type of shit.
He went time hopping. Jasen Dutch, do you have a crush on Chris Evans as Captain America?
He's America's ass.
He is. We're going to get America's asses back.
I mean, what? Of course. Of course. But to steal my own.
Is that your shank?
my Jenk. Yeah, it's exactly what that is.
Is that your Jenk Ugar?
So the thing is, like Rugboy touched on, like what they've done now is something that, DC has probably always had, but never used right. Wherein that they can really go back now and like they could wait 20 years and just go back and use Chris Evans 20 years from now and say that he came across some issue back in 1983 when he was happily living with Agent Carter.
And he had to become Captain America again.
And he had to be Captain
awesome.
because he had his shield at the time and everything. Yeah. So, they really don't miss one beat, with anything. So the way that they could do it is endless. Although I do think it's too soon because he hasn't really been gone. He was in the last movie that they had. So this isn't like it's 2026 and they're like, hey, we're going to bring him back. It's like he isn't even really gone yet.
Now, and they got to establish, what's going to happen with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm interested to see where that
let that develop.
Up.
And he's still alive, right? Like they didn't imply that that old Cap died.
No, he didn't die.
He's
hanging
alive.
Out. Yeah, he's hanging out, just being old.
Maybe he'll be old Cap in the costume, like Geritol Cap.
Maybe he just shows up to like AARP events and fucking
but he still kicks ass.
Early
like
bird dinners.
He's as old as Joe Biden, but he can still beat your ass.
So he'll be running for president in 2024.
Yes. Imagine Joe Biden as a badass super soldier.
I was looking at like some of the movies where they could potentially bring him back. I don't know. I mean, I didn't see anything that jumped out.
No.
But I think the first movie that I think could use a boost from Captain America actually would be the one that they just released, or they just started talking about now, Fantastic Four.
Oh.
I think if you had like a time travel and they meet Captain America and sort of like a passing of the torch, I think that might work.
It's a shame Reed Richards will never get to meet Tony Stark. That's something that you've always kind of wanted to see happen in the
There's only room for one smart guy.
Yeah, one smart guy at a time, and it's not Bruce Banner and Shuri. But dude, I mean, this is going to be years away, obviously, but still, it's exciting to see people don't die. I mean, even Robert Downey Jr. can come back. We thought Vision was dead at the end of Endgame. He's not dead. He's still fucking around. We don't know how. We're going to find out. Yeah, we're going to find out. Listener, let us know. A lot of people on our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation, we're geeked about this news. Leave your comments. Join the nation. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It's an exclusive closed group just for you, listener. So WandaVision will be out by the time this show posts. We have not seen it yet. It's frustrating. We're a day away. Full review next week, of course. But the Rotten Tomato score has been revealed. It's a 94%.
Oh, shit.
With 94 ratings, 8.09 out of 10. I've skimmed some of these reviews briefly. I don't want to get spoiled.
How did they release it? Can you? Was it the first three or the whole thing? What did they do?
Friday, they're going to release the first two and then release the remaining 9. Oh, there's 9 total weekly.
Reviewers got to see the first 3.
Reviewers got to see the first 3 episodes.
We're only going to get to see the first 2.
Yeah, but it's getting pretty good reviews.
Yeah, I saw some of the reviews too.
Right. So yeah, first 2 episodes will be out on this post, and then once a week, every Friday. And then 2 weeks after that, Falcon and Winter Soldier start. They're really going to start stringing MCU content one right after another.
Jason,
yeah,
we've us three have hello. We've talked about this show ad nauseum. But I'm curious to see someone who's maybe a little bit more casual of an MCU fan. What you think?
Well, I'm
of,
not a casual MCU fan. I'm just a lifelong DC Comics reader. So
okay,
you know,
so someone that's
I love the MCU.
in that vein.
Yeah.
What do you think of WandaVision?
I think that it's an interesting idea. It sucks that we're not going to be able to see anything more than the first 2 episodes ever because, of course, Democracy and the Civil War start on the 21st.
Might shut everything down.
Democracy ends on the 21st. So, you know, those of us who live through it, if TV is still around, might get to see it.
I just need a signal, man. Give me a signal. What's your wireless password, you fuck?
Okay. You know, maybe it'll be released on what's left of Parler. But the great thing is that it's what they've done is it's not really. I can't see how it's going to be MCU canon in any way. It's just a fun show. You know, part of it might end up being.
I think it will.
It will be.
But like they've got all these branches now, and it's like. I don't know if it's going to be like it's MCU, but it's not. But there can only be one lineage of the MCU. You can't have 30 different lineages, right?
Well, Feige's come out, so all those TV shows prior were kind of like tangential, but this is the first time that Marvel Studios is actually producing their TV shows, and Feige's come out and said these will interact with the movies. Like this one has a direct tie-in to the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, this is the beginning of it.
So it does. Okay.
So it all will tie in.
This is like the second set of kids that you actually raised
the ones
instead of that
like,
first one that you never even talked to.
First ones were fuck-ups a little bit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Netflix ones were fuck-ups?
Well,
Yeah, they're like, they don't claim
I don't agree.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He's saying, what he's saying is Marvel Studios doesn't claim those as actually part of their canon.
Right. Yeah, they fucked up by not having them.
They're the bastard children.
Yeah,
really, Fiege is taking this into an experimental, crazy way where it is one storyline canon that's going to flow between the movies to the TV shows, back to the movies. You're going to have to watch all of it to get all of it.
Marvel is intending to have something out basically every week for a whole year.
Oh, yeah, and they will.
With the movies and the TV shows combined.
They will. They may have to change some distribution methods, and I will get into that. But this week, Kevin Feige was all over every website promoting WandaVision, and it was the same. He did Zoom calls, and he was wearing the same hat and the same background at every Zoom call. So he must have just sat one day and just talked to all these people over and over again. I can't imagine that's a lot of fun.
He wasn't on your show, so it doesn't count.
He wasn't on our show. He missed our time slot, the motherfucker. But some interesting bits from the various interviews is he revealed kind of the lengths of these shows. Basically, he says he's looking at developing the TV shows as 6 hours total. So whether that's like 9 or 10 half-hour-ish episodes or 6 or 8 like 40-minute episodes, whatever, everything's going to be about 6 minutes with fluctuating run times like they've done with The Mandalorian.
6 hours.
6 hours of story total. So She-Hulk is 10 30-minute episodes, around 5 or 6 hours. That's what you can look at. But Winter Soldier and Loki, 6 40 to 50-minute episodes we can expect. Personally, I like the runtime. I like the episode length. I like that they learned that 13 was way too much for the Netflix and to keep this tight. So hopefully 6 hours is going to be fun time spending with all these characters and the story.
Well, 6 hours is like 3 movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super satisfying.
That's like a trilogy. Or if it's Lord of the Rings, it's 10 million hours. But
if it's Lord of the Rings, it's half of one movie. Anthony, what do you think? Is that long enough for you to be satisfied for a season? And he also talked about whether these will have second seasons or not. He's not really sure. They're going to see like some episodes, some seasons maybe one-offs, and they don't need.
You know, I don't necessarily place all that emphasis, all that much of weight in terms of like how long the story is, as long as the story fills the time.
Yeah.
The problem with it wasn't that there was 13 episodes, it was that they didn't have enough for 13 episodes. They stretched out, you know, for those Netflix shows, they stretched out one storyline across 13 episodes rather than, you know, weaving in like villain of the week stuff or like things like that to kind of stretch things out a little more.
Yeah.
So as long as they have enough content to fill out the episodes, it doesn't matter to me how many hours it is.
So Feige also mentioned he was he looked at The Mandalorian and the success of how those episodes ran. Jasen Dutch, what did you think of The Mandalorian number of episodes and runtime? Was it satisfying enough? I think these Marvel shows are going to be about the same kind of deal.
Well, I love The Mandalorian. I mean, as far as the show lengths, I mean, it's weird because like getting used to these streaming networks, like, and then, well, it's the same thing with Cobra Kai, and we talk about that later. You know, because of Game of Thrones being so long each episode, and like, you know, some of the other shows that I've watched being an hour, 15 minutes, 52 minutes, whatever. I always found myself in the middle of The Mandalorian. I don't know if any of you guys did this. I would pause it just to see how much time was left. Yeah. To prepare myself for how much more I'm going to get that particular show. So, I did the same exact thing with Cobra Kai. So it's, but that being
was
said,
that like in a good way or a bad? Like, well, you were like, man, I wish there was more, or was like, oh, this is dragging.
No. It was because it was good. And because I wanted to, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how much more time they have to develop this particular piece of the storyline. Or is it about the climax? And the only way that but the only way you can,
big ass.
Yeah, but the only way you can see that is by, you know, if it's a 42-minute episode, you hit pause and it's got 8 minutes left, then you kind of have to temper your expectations as to what you're actually going to get in that 8 minutes. But I mean, Mandalorian blew that off the chart, especially those last 3 episodes. Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know, those were just epic television. So, yeah.
The Mandalorian and Cobra Kai both do the thing you want to do is it leaves you wanting more every time, you know, and
precisely.
that's what you want. You don't want to leave you wanting like, oh, you could have cut all that shit out.
Like Walking Dead, where you're like,
yes,
why did I watch this episode?
Nothing
it was
happened.
Such a waste of time.
Yes. Oh, Walking Dead's coming back with 3 shows. Those people are not stopping. The fucking show. I don't even know who watches.
Are they really?
Yeah.
They're just going to ride it into the ground.
3 Walking Dead shows will be running.
I mean, it's already
this year.
in the ground.
It's in the ground. It's definitely in the ground. And
it's not even wandering around lifeless.
They don't care.
They're just going to ride it till it's dead.
They're like, keep digging the hole. We don't give a fuck. It's making money.
Put more bodies in there.
Although in COVID, you're going to have to separate everyone 6 feet. Zombies 6 feet away. The other...
Imran, are you concerned about these Marvel shows addressing COVID?
They're going to be... You know, the reason I think Wanda...
just kick him in the nuts.
I think Wanda is in this reality is because she wants to escape the Rona. That's why I think it's what is the driving force of the whole WandaVision show. On the other hand, it's going to be great escape television to watch.
You think no one's ever going to kiss on television or in movies ever again?
No, and if they do, there'll be a dental dam between them that they'll have to remove in CGI later.
Oh, jeez.
Get that green dental dam. We're going to have to fix that in post.
Sure.
Deep fake those
Let's
lips.
key it out.
Yes, key it out. We'll fix it in post. Fuck it. Look, some of that shit's going to happen. Some it's not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if there's crowds. There's none of it's happening. None of the movies are coming out either.
Well, that's why they have separate beds. You know, Vision and Wanda have separate beds, like Ozzy and Harriet.
Yeah, like in the Dick Van Dyke Show. You sleep over there, honey. The other interesting thing I thought was exciting that gave me Geek Boner. That Fiege confirmed is that Deadpool 3 will indeed be a part of the MCU and be R-rated. And Ryan Reynolds is working on the scripts with them to develop this now. Rugs, my question is, how R-rated do you think Disney is actually going to take this?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're going to definitely have to say the F word a couple times.
Several times.
Are we going to see a penis or an ass?
Balls?
Or an ass and a penis, balls?
Maybe a piece of balls?
We're going to see boobs? No, we're not going to see boobs. We'll probably see man ass, though. Yeah. Man ass is on the table.
Oh, all the time.
I think man ass is definitely on the table.
Pause.
Man ass on the table.
How do you really feel, Ruggs?
I'm just thinking, like, that's what's plausible, right? Like, they're not going to show his cock.
Anthony, how are you going to make an R-rated MCU movie that has, like, the Marvel thing in front of it put out by Disney? I guess you just do it.
I don't know. You just do it.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. I mean, too. I mean, this is just another untapped part of the Marvel, experience. Now, granted, we've seen Deadpool twice already, but that wasn't technically an MCU film. So to do some sort of tie-in to the MCU now is just another corner of the MCU that they haven't explored. The more self-referential, talk to the camera, dick jokes. Let's say there's a lot more potential to have fun with him interacting with MCU characters rather than keeping this in its own little pocket.
Suddenly, this Deadpool has new life because the second movie was all right. It was still good. The first movie is great, but I'm like, where are you going to go if you do a third one? But now, suddenly, the possibilities are limitless. Jasen Dutch, you like the Deadpool movies?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the second one was, it had its moments, but the first one was just classic.
Yeah.
And I don't see a problem for this. I mean, first of all, they were going to have to do it at some point. So what better way to do it than the third installment of Deadpool, which probably will be better than the second one. But the issue is not going to be when it comes out, because assuming that COVID has, settled down a little bit, by the time this is made and comes out, we should, God, I fucking hope we have this long in our rearview mirror by then. We got to be looking at like 2023.
Well,
right?
it says
2022,
they're not
2023,
they're not going to start shooting this until 2022.
Okay, so we're probably looking at summer or winter of 2023.
Yeah.
So, we'll be on COVID 22 by then, but the issue is not going to be the theaters, assuming that we're back in theaters. The issue is going to be when it goes on to streaming.
Yeah,
where do they put it on the streaming app?
Yeah.
Do they put it on Disney Plus or do they put it on Hulu?
That's a good
Which
point.
is not like either way they do it, it's fine. They might even want to put it on Hulu because Hulu sucks ass. So with the exception of like 5 shows.
Yeah.
So, who has a Hulu account I only have it because it's tied to Spotify. Otherwise, I don't think I've logged into Hulu in ages. So
there's a couple of good things, but I've watched them all, and there hasn't
If you're a
been
big
anything.
FX guy, you'll like Hulu.
Yeah.
The weird thing that I've noticed is that everything that's on Hulu is also on Amazon Prime.
It's on other things. Yeah. They don't have a lot of
really?
exclusive things. They have originals, though, that are only on Hulu.
Barring the original stuff.
Yeah.
They share a
it's
lot
not-
of the same stuff.
It's still, I think, in a work in progress for them.
Well, Disney's going to do something to fucking boost that and get more subscribers. But
they're putting the Alien thing on.
oh yeah, they're going to put all the Fox awesome movies, Aliens on there. But the marketing for this will be very interesting, like you said.
on Hulu?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they
That's
own
cool.
now, they own the Alien franchise and what's the other our big R-rated franchise, Terminator? Is that Fox? I don't remember.
That's Fox.
Yeah, so they got to put that somewhere. But it'll be interesting to see how they market this with the MCU that is existing. You can't put it on Disney Plus.
What about that Star thing that they were talking about?
That's for India and international people.
Yeah, they label it, Star over there. So
Yeah.
it's just like another. So it's like Disney, Marvel, Pixar,
Yeah.
blah, 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 National Geographic, and then Star is another tab. Whereas here, they just made it Hulu. It's a different. Hulu is just a different thing you order. Obviously, you guys know about Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, so Star is primarily
Hulu doesn't exist in India or South
It's
in
not.
Mexico.
Is
or
it
anything.
international?
No.
Oh, that's a problem.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, Jason, you were just talking about, these movies coming out 2023 and the problem of movies coming out. And, well, they're not coming out. The April movies have been delayed. You guys, you know what's fun to do? I went back and I listened to one of the shows from early March of last year when all this shit was happening. Do you remember? In March, Anthony, we were like, July, August, it should be all right. But you can push the
Is that
movies
what we
back.
said?
That's what we fucking said.
Oh, shit.
And here we are, almost a year later.
Someone cut that audio and just make us look like idiots.
Fucking hell. I was like, oh my God, I can't. But a lot of people thought that. It wasn't just us.
Intersplice us with like Fox News people.
Yes. We'll be back. It'll blow
be
over.
over.
Florida's
We didn't
cool.
know.
It's fine.
Nobody knew.
It'll be over in like 2 weeks. Magically, it'll be gone.
That's and I listened back and I was like, holy fuck, I can't. It was still like this weird innocence
Hey,
time.
wait, weren't you going to Vegas at the time, Anthony, or
Oh,
something?
yeah.
You went
I
to
was like-
Vegas.
Well, I did go to Vegas,
Yeah.
but I was supposed to go in April. And I was like, oh, maybe we'll just be able to go in like July, August, whatever.
A year ago, I had just gotten back from New Orleans, and then I got sick, and I thought I had the fucking Rona, and then the Rona news broke, and I couldn't talk, and then all that shit happened. That was a year ago.
And then you grew your hair like a parakeet.
And now I look like a parakeet. Yes, and it's still growing. It's quite lovely. I'm going to braid them and dye them. But movies that are supposed to come out this April have been delayed. Movies like Morbius with Jared Leto, and rumor is No Time to Die, the James Bond movie that's already been delayed a year, was supposed to come out Easter. They're probably going to push
Nothing's
that back.
coming out, basically.
Nothing is coming out exactly. Still no word about Black Widow. So this is what I feel like. Black Widow's supposed to come out in May. If April movies are being moved, I don't think May is gonna work, and they're still
May's kind of close.
There's still rumors that they're discussing putting it out day and date on Disney Plus and the theaters, but for a charge like they did with Mulan.
They might have to just because they want to. They don't need to, or they don't want to keep pushing back these movies because it's just gonna delay the fact because they have the TV shows coming out and the TV shows are interacting with the movies. So to delay the movies would really screw things over.
The TV shows have started, so you kind of have to now follow this fucking schedule. Even though Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to come out first, I guess that doesn't make a big difference. But I still. Now, what do you think, Anthony? Realistically, a year later, we have these vaccines. What do you think? We'll cut this for next year when we're like, remember when we thought it was coming back?
What do I think? What when the movies?
Yes, when movie theaters will be open largely again. Like they can't keep pushing things back. There's no.
If I had to guess, I would go August or September.
Okay.
I was gonna say July.
Oh, you're getting a little more generous there.
What do you think, Mr. Jason Dutch? Mr. Virologist Jasen Dutch?
Well, with a liberal crazy man going into the White House, it'll be like 2027.
It's over.
Because the deep state's taking over. I honestly, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you guys. Like, I was back in March. I naively said, I guess we're going to have to just wait this out for a few weeks and let it pass. Fuck, was I wrong? So it'd be like predicting the rapture at this point. Whatever I pick, I'm going to have to backtrack on it and decide there was a reason why I was wrong. But just to throw one in the hat, I will give you June 24th.
Ooh.
Oh, that's very specific. Mark that down, listener.
Yeah, June 24th.
Get your vaccines now, or else we can't make the date that Jason
you need
specified.
to get the second one by June 24th.
You think everybody in the entire United States can get vaccinated by June 24th?
No fucking way.
You just need 80-85%. That's no big deal.
Oh, yeah.
85?
Even though like a third of them have only got into people's arms and everyone's confused and.
Well, the herd mentality will take over by then. We'll all, the dead will all be dead and the alive
will be like
just
the
be at the
Walking
theater.
Dead.
Yeah. Well, they're too busy making movies about COVID and run, so
exactly.
That's why they're not taking.
Have
these
they
vaccines.
actually? Have you seen anything about that? Is that a real statement, or are you joking?
No, because a while ago, Imran was freaking out that the movie industry was going to be so affected by COVID that every movie was going to have to deal with COVID. No one was going to be within 6 feet of one another. No one was going to interact.
TV
no one
shows.
Was going to have
this
sex.
has happened on TV shows. They're all these new shows are about fucking. Everyone's in COVID. So it's happening.
I haven't seen it at all.
You haven't seen it at all? Fuck you, motherfuckers! Watch Superstore. This Is Us. Any fucking major TV show that's coming back. It's all they're all wearing.
What about
masks.
The Mandalorian?
The Mandalorian doesn't
There's
take
no
place
COVID
now.
in space.
Yeah, it's in space.
What about Cobra Kai
and it's
season
long
two?
time ago.
Now you know why he doesn't take his mask. Mando doesn't take his mask off.
Yeah, he already
get
he has
COVID.
a mask. He's wearing it the whole fucking time. Doesn't get the space Rona.
The episode where he had to do the computer scan, he got fucked, and now he got COVID.
Yeah,
We're going to be doing news for 6 hours.
The computer gave us COVID. Okay, look. So movies aren't coming out, but don't worry. There's a shitload of things to watch on streaming. The streaming wars are going to heat up. You better believe it. There's almost too many things. Listen to what Netflix says it's doing. Variety reports that Netflix's massive 2021 film slate will deliver new movies every week this year.
Oh, shit.
And I'm talking about movies with talent such as Dwayne Johnson, Melissa McCarthy, Halle Berry, Jason Momoa, Amy Adams, Ryan Reynolds, Chris Hemsworth, Lin-Manuel Miranda. They have 71 titles across many genres, from musical to action to romantic comedies, that they're going to roll out over the next 12 months. My question to you is, what percentage of these movies will actually be good? I think
0.
Yes. No. I think out of those 71, maybe you'll get 6 good movies.
No, I mean, like, Netflix movies are pretty decent. They're not, like, amazing. They're just, you're watching it on Netflix. And I took a look at the roster. There's one sci-fi movie that they're making. So you know that they're not, those are very budget-heavy movies. So that a lot of them are going to be kind of small budget, like dramas and stuff like that. Comedies, dramas, stuff like that. Not really heavy effects films, like maybe a few of them.
Well, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead is one of the movies that I'm kind of looking forward to. Anthony, Mr. Movie Guy. Is this are these is Netflix just going to lower the quality of movies and eventually we just get used to shitty movies?
We're not watching The Asylum, Imran.
Imran, Jesus Christ, the king of overreactions over here. No, I mean there'll be some good ones, there'll be some bad ones. It'll be a mixed bag like Netflix has been. I mean, there was some bad movies, then we got like Extraction was a good action movie. Trial of Chicago 7's a
That's
pretty.
a
I mean,
great
he's gonna probably
movie.
get nominated for Oscars.
The Five Bloods.
I'm gonna watch Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Mank. I think those will get nominated for Oscars. So you'll have a mixed bag as they normally have.
But it's
done
just
this year.
Jasen
New
Dutch
movie every week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Dutch, do you feel like for every good movie Netflix has, there's like fucking 10 bad ones?
I feel like for every movie I watch on Netflix, there's 70 I haven't watched. So, I'm not like one of those guys who has to go see everything. Like, I really am interested in seeing Tenet, for example.
Yeah.
But like when I'm going to do that, I haven't the slightest idea. Yeah. So like I'm the wrong guy to talk about that with because I might watch it in 3 years. I still haven't seen the fucking Wolf of Wall Street, which I like was dying to see. And I still haven't seen it. And it because I just don't get around to, I watch the sci-fi stuff that I watch and the rest of the time I'm so enamored in, politics and stuff like that I don't necessarily always have time for it. Though I did see Extraction and I thought that was very good for a Netflix movie. So that makes me kind of excited. And, it'd be cool. I think you said there was going to be something with, did you say there was going to be something with Momoa and Hemsworth in it? Because that would be worth watching.
I don't know if they're in the same movie. There's a movie with Gal Gadot, The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds. Then there's a movie with Regina King, Idris Elba, and I don't know which movie. There's a movie with Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ariana Grande, Timothy Chalamet, Kid Cudi, and Meryl Streep.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Jesus fuck.
That's a hell of a lineup
It's
there.
called Don't Look Up. That's
Ariana
a crazy
Grande
cast.
is engaged now, and I'm very sad.
Not to Pete Davidson.
My dream is over. My dream is over. But,
all right, Jason.
And HBO Max is now on Roku, which is good news, but they have a lot of shit coming out also. So,
well, speaking of HBO Max, check out this movie. It's called The Little Things, made by filmmaker John Lee Hancock, who did The Blind Side, Saving Mr. Banks. This one stars Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. Day and date release on this one in when's this coming out? It's coming out next month.
Denzel looks old.
Yeah, well, he is old.
Well,
his son's great. He's starting to look more like a young Denzel. And then Apple TV has this movie by the Russos. The Russos' next movie, they did Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. They've also done 21 Bridges with Chadwick Boseman. They have a little side production business where they're taking their Marvel talent and putting them in these crazy movies. This movie's called Cherry. Anthony, did you check out this Cherry trailer with Tom Holland?
I did. It looked all right. There was a lot of like Oscar buzz.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cooled off. I didn't really make much of an impression on me, if I'm going to be honest. I wasn't super intrigued by it.
Yeah.
It was okay. I mean, it was just okay. The idea of like this army vet coming back and robbing banks for love. I don't know. I feel
struggling with PTSD. Yeah,
I'll give you my take very fast.
Yeah,
it looks like a movie.
It's a movie. I'm interested in these Russo brothers films though, because they always take them in interesting directions. And the girl is from the show Wayne on Amazon, and the show's amazing. And then Anthony, if that's not enough, that's March 12th on Apple TV Plus. Cherry, Chloe Zhao's Nomadland, big Oscar buzz on this one, coming out in theaters and on Hulu on January 29th.
Yes,
that's
this
amazing.
Is the movie that I think is already like everyone's predicting is going to win Best Picture. So I'm glad I don't have to go to a movie theater.
Me too. I can't wait to watch.
Have you heard of this movie, Jason?
Wait, which movie did we just move to?
Nomadland.
Nomadland, it's called.
Oh yeah, that's is it Chloe Zhao or whatever?
Chloe Zhao, yeah. Frances McDormand.
That one looked okay, but if it's on Hulu, I'm not going to be able to see it. So to be honest with you,
fuck off. Right?
It's again, it looked okay, but
it's getting big Oscar.
I didn't
buzz.
get a boner.
And then I heard no geek
I don't
boner.
know if Frances McDormand's getting anyone a boner at this point.
She's an incredible actress, though. Her acting gives me a geek boner. I'll tell you that much. The Chloe Zhao also, I heard she's directing the Eternals for Marvel, but I heard she's also writing parts of the Eternals too. So
good.
Yeah, I'm interested to see her direction and her style in this Nomadland. Listener, if you haven't noticed, we did get a new logo. That means we have new merchandise for sale at our TeePublic shop. Visit jockandnerd.com/shop. You can get the new look. And you guys, people have, I got a bunch of emails today. People are buying the new look. So thank you to everyone who's bought.
Why?
I don't know. It looks, I guess they think it
Is that
looks
why
nice.
you did it, you asshole?
Yeah, it was just for
Capitalism. Yeah.
merch. Do you saying Spaceballs? What does he say? Merchandising.
What are you talking about?
That's the whole thing. Rugs, you still
Spaceballs,
there?
the coffee mug.
Spaceballs.
I might have to shit again. These wings are like pouring out.
Yeah. Ruggs had some pigeon wings earlier this evening, barbecued, so they're giving him a little bit of IBS issues. Never mind.
Yeah.
One last story, guys. I wanted to put this in here now that we have watched.
I got to ask, though,
Yeah.
Ruggs, did you get the pigeons when you were visiting Bert and Ernie?
Oh, shit.
Stop calling me out.
See, what were you doing over there, Ruggs?
Listen, they have a whole thing going on. It's a whole underground pigeon selling meat thing.
There were some
That's what they
voices
do.
from the underground coming from there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Ernie's like, hey, Bert, weren't there sick pigeons in here earlier? What happened? Hey, Bert.
Listen, you
Bert,
don't know
where's
what
the
they're
pigeons?
really like, okay? I'm telling you, those guys are fucked up.
Dude, I believe you. Anyone that clean on camera, like Bob Saget was the wholesome dad on Full House. He's the
Listen,
most perverted fuck you're ever
If
going to
you
hear.
anybody who's really well, like buttoned up and has a unibrow, you gotta be fucking.
Yeah.
Those guys are fucking weird.
You have to be suspicious of anyone with a unibrow. I will agree. Okay, last story before we wrap up the news. Now, we reviewed the Lord of the Rings, the first movie, and now that I've rewatched the fucking Lord of the Rings movies and I've got to appreciate them again, kind of.
Oh, you watched them again?
Well, I watched the first two. I still haven't watched the third one. I haven't had time, but I'm going to watch it. The Amazon show, like over 2 years ago, paid $250 million for the rights to make Lord of the Rings. They're making a big budget, lush Lord of the Rings TV show. They've just revealed the synopsis when this show takes place. The synopsis reads, Amazon Studios' forthcoming series brings to screens for the very first time the heroic legends of the fabled Second Age of Middle-earth's history. This epic drama set thousands of years before the events of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings will take viewers back to an era in which great powers were forged and the greatest villain that ever flowed from Tolkien's pen threatened to cover all the world in darkness. So apparently this is going to take place in the age where all the rings were around and the rise.
The Silmarillion.
What is that?
The Silmarillion is the age before the rings were made.
Is that the second age?
Yes.
Okay.
So the age before was the Silmarillion. That was like when they made all of the races and all of these whatever. So like there are these gods. They're basically like stand-ins for gods. They have different names like Maya or whatever. And so there's these different gods, and some of them made elves, some of them made humans, but not regular humans, like immortal humans, and then all this other stuff. And then at a certain point, Sauron rises to be like this power, and he creates the rings of power, and that this is the second age.
Whoa,
it's
so
like,
that's what the show's going to be about. That sounds cool.
So like there's a time before Sauron,
Yeah.
and then this is the time where he, at his height, becomes super powerful.
J.A. Bayona set to direct multiple episodes. He directed that last Jurassic World movie, right? Was it the last one? The second one?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the OG Game of Thrones. Anthony, does this interest you at all, having now watched the first Lord of the Rings movie?
No.
No?
No, not really.
This
I
could
have
be-
to watch the other ones.
Yeah, but this will, Sauron, kind of where it starts. This is before.
And you kind of, I was on the show. You saw my review of
That's
of
a good
Lord
point.
of the Rings. I didn't have the most glowing review of that.
However, if this could be the next like Game of Thrones fucking huge fantasy awesome show.
I mean, it is the beginning of all of this shit that we fucking all take for granted, in all these video games and all of this fantasy lore. Like all of this stuff was like,
it's the source.
This is the source for like
Just
a
like the
lot of it.
magazine.
Just the magazine. Dude, I used to buy The Source and The Vibe. Those are great hip hop magazines. My favorite.
And it's really amazing when you look back on it that this dude just kind of generated all this shit.
Just made it up. Jasen Dutch, you a Rings fan? What's your take on the Lord of the Rings?
I mean, I've watched all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I there's a reason why Ned Stark was cast by the actor who was Ned Stark, right? Because he was in Lord of the Rings. The excitement level, it seems to me like they're going to try to make their own Lord of the Rings based Game of Thrones. You know, that's what my first intention was. Is that a bad thing? No. Am I excited for it? No. But because I liked the movies, I didn't hate them.
Yeah.
But, you know, I didn't watch I only watched the first Hobbit movie. I didn't watch any of those, so I'm not like a super fan. And Sauron, the problem with him is he's not a compelling villain. You know, he just is. He's like this big lava monster that is soulless, and
It's like Skeletor from He-Man.
It's like there's no Thanos-y-ness to him, you know, to be compelling to me. So no, it doesn't really excite me, but I'll probably watch it. So I'll give it a shot.
This may give you that backstory to Sauron.
Yeah, I think that we're looking at Sauron when he's already dead in Lord of the Rings. And so he's just trying to, he's not really dead. You can't really kill a Maya. They always persist. But, he's in the most weakened form that he's basically not even there. He's just kind of, pulling. He's just a force that's pulling things into play. But so I think if we went to the beginning where he was actually just like a dude, it might be interesting.
I mean, this show is a huge cast. They've added 20 more people. So this is going to be a sprawling, big budget, epic thing is what I'm anticipating. We'll see. We'll see if they can pull this.
I just hope that it fits in with the movies and doesn't seem like a completely different thing.
They said you will see new characters and familiar characters, so should be interesting. All right, that's it for the news. We're going to take a quick break here and come back and talk about some karate with you right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled podcast in just a minute. But we wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake on this highly produced advertisement.
That's right. It's the History of Bad Ideas, a.k.a. Hobie. You can find us on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast and on Facebook at the History of Bad Ideas. But if you like a podcast roundtable with 3 to 5 guests, usually every week, depending on sick leave, talking about all things geek, including movies, TV.
I ain't getting paid for this shit.
Blake bitching about something and ranting, and comic books and anything else that we can think of. We have a top 5 list every week, along with a box office news, and somehow we have listeners, so they send us some feedback we answer every week. You can find us on iTunes,
Stitcher,
Facebook,
Spotify,
and any good podcast app, because if you can't find us on that podcast app, it's not a good podcast app.
Damn straight. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio. Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee. Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed he's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
Doc and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show and want more show and you want to support us, help the show keep going, join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon, Jock and Nerd, where you will have access to an exclusive RSS feed for as little as $3 a month. You can sign up monthly or annually. You'll get bonus content. The shows come out early. There's Jock Talk with Chaz.
Their bottom is very weak.
An actual sports show, even though we lie and say this is the Jock and Nerd podcast. And then this week, Anthony, instant reactions. You've been catching up on some Oscar potential movies here.
Correct. Yeah. I got Sound of Metal.
Nice.
And Palm Springs. Yeah, and I'll do a quick plug. Tomorrow night, I'll be recording with Gerald Morris on Two Peas in a Pod.
Oh, you're
We're doing a top
on,
5.
Nice. You're going on the Peas.
Nice.
Yes, that's a lot of fun. Fun show. Those two movies they're fun. I love both of them. They're both really good movies.
I have some movies in the till, too,
Yeah.
so there should be more stuff.
And I should have my instant reactions to the first 2 episodes of WandaVision up also. I'm not going to do what I did for Mandalorian. I'm just going to give a reaction instead of doing it like a recap thing. So
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I'm just going to give a quick reaction after watching the first 2 episodes.
You were doing a recap?
Yeah, I was doing like a
recap, super detailed.
Recap reaction as I was watching. It was fun to do, but that's enough.
Like this thing is like 20 minutes long.
Yeah, it's enough for one show.
Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Imran?
That's short for me.
Being able to fill that
By the
amount
way,
of time.
that was short. I'm surprised it was only 20 minutes. So be thankful. Anyways, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Sign up today. Let's get to our review this week. And we are going to be talking about season 3 of Cobra Kai on the Netflix. Came out January 1st of this year, 2021. Here are your spoilers. Speaking of Chris Evans.
Before we get started,
there he is.
Does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled!
I hope you're prepared. On Rotten Tomatoes, this season of Cobra Kai has got 91%.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, 8.11 out of 10 average rating. In comparison, season 2 was 89%. Season 1 is still at 100%.
Oh, shit.
The show, of course, about the Karate Kid world, starring none other than Ralph Macchio as Danny LaRusso, William Zabka, Johnny Lawrence. You got Jolo Maridueña as Miguel, Tanner Buchanan as Robbie, Courtney Hengler as Amanda LaRusso, Mary Mauser as Sam, Jacob Bertrand as Hawk, Gianni DeCenzo as Dimitri, Martin Cove returning as John Kreese, Nicole Brown as Aisha. She is not in it. Strike that. We'll get to that. And a bunch of other people that we will get to. Great cast. Jasen Dutch, let's start with you. This show picks up, 2 weeks after the end of season 2. And we'll get to the plot as we talk about it. But I want to know from you, what did you think about season 3 and why is this show so good?
Okay, so let me preface this. I started watching season 1 around November.
Okay.
And I watched the first maybe 2 or 3 episodes in November, and then I kind of let it get away from me. And between December 27th maybe and January 4th.
Okay, just recently.
The rest of season 1, all of season 2, and season 3.
Oh, shit.
Wow, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And I had no fucking idea. This is the funny part. I had no fucking clue that season 3 was coming out on New Year's Day.
Oh, you got a little gift.
And I was watching, I finished season 2. I literally brought in the new year, like maybe episode 7 of season 2. So, I watched it all that night, and then I saw a promo saying it's coming in 2021. I didn't even realize it started like that second. I was like, fuck it.
Just keep
I'm going to
going.
go watch. Why should I wait? I'm going to watch season 3.
Keep it rolling.
Like I've never ever smiled more watching a television show. It's like, and like season 1 is just so it's poorly acted, it's total YouTube-ish, and like it's not the greatest written as far as that goes. You kind of get where the story's going, you kind of know where it's going to end up at. That doesn't mean it's not really good. It's just it's somewhat predictable, but still all the way through the 80s the cliche stuff, and just Johnny's obnoxious, the total. He's like a total MAGA dude, but he's not, because it's like, take your peanut allergies and your asthma and that other made up bullshit and get out of here.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah.
It's just fantastic. Like the key is though, I've never smiled and laughed more watching a show that's not that hilariously funny, but just because to me it was great. And I just cannot recommend the show enough to and whether or not you liked the movies, because I'm not the world's biggest Karate Kid fan, but I can't say enough about this show. It is just it's truly on Haas's Humidor scale. It's truly 5 leaves. So I loved it.
Damn, Anthony, did season 3 deliver for you like the first 2?
If you enjoy the first 2 seasons, you're going to like season 3, and I definitely did. I echo all the things Jason said. I mean, I'm kind of similar. I didn't binge all 3 seasons, but we basically did a review show because I binged 2 seasons in like 2 days.
Yes.
And I binged season 3. I mean, I was done with it by January 2nd.
Oh, yeah.
It's an easy watch.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes episodes. They're 10 episodes, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So it's super easy. And again, it's one of those things that, like, I'm a big Karate Kid fan, but the show isn't like, it really isn't like Karate Kid, the movies. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like the best spin-offs or sequels aren't like, for instance, in the 80s, they'd make these movies and they'd make like the sequel and it'd be like a bigger, better, like funnier, like just a more of the same from the first. And those are fun, but what you really like, really good sequels are like the things, or like spin-offs like this are things that you didn't know you wanted. So like you didn't know that this would be something you wanted, this like TV show that's kind of like more cheesy and quirky and high school feel mixed in with Karate Kid elements, yet it works so much that you're like, why didn't I think of this? Like this like it seems so obvious now that this would work, but at the time it didn't. No one thought it would work, and it just continues with season 3. I really enjoyed it. There's some cheesy acting. Some of the kids look like they're aging out of their roles, but they still do a good job of like interweaving the drama and the cheesy storylines into one another, so that every episode you're like, oh, how are they going to get out of this? I just want them to be friends.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen? Like, so yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed season 3. And I'm excited to see where season 4 goes. That being said, I hopefully they know when to pull the plug on this thing, because it could get to the point where they're just drawing it out.
Ruggs, to me, they treat Karate Kid like Star Wars, which is why these references and callbacks are so cool, so enjoyable. I'm going to steal this. I read this in a review. It's aggressively nostalgic, which is a great way to put it. But is that is that a good or bad thing overall for the show? Can it be too much?
There's nothing wrong with nostalgia. All right, nostalgia is you looking back at something that was great, or that you perceive to be great, and you look back on it fondly. I think that's the point of nostalgia, to make you feel like a kid again. So there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't just lean on that only. You still have to do a decent job of being entertaining and well done, well directed, and all that stuff. Is Cobra Kai the epitome of all this stuff? I don't think so. I enjoy the show. I think it's great, but I do see like, all right, it's a little cheesy.
Yeah,
it's this and that, but we forgive it because it does all this other stuff so well that we look past it. It's like, you're dating somebody that's really attractive, but they're probably say some stuff that doesn't, whatever, but you kind of ignore it because, this person's like, oh, this person's fun and attractive. So this is what Cobra Kai is to me. It's like, it's doing a lot of other things to compensate for its weaknesses. And I think that they're like, the weaknesses are there on purpose, I guess. Almost. It feels like they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I feel like that overall, the comedic stuff that's kind of lampooning society, how absurd a society is now, is fun. I also like the fact that you're looking at characters and you're not these black and white characters. Like, they're trying to show you, okay, this is not always, the good guy's not always necessarily always a good guy, and the bad guy's not always necessarily a bad guy.
Yeah.
And even with Kreese, they're showing you his backstory.
Yep.
So they're trying to always add dimension to characters, at least the main ones, anyway.
Fuck, let's start with Kreese's backstory. I was going to say, anybody throw out some favorite moments, a place to start, but Kreese's backstory was an amazing addition. This is why I'm like, they're treating it like Star Wars. This is like fucking Darth Vader's fucking origin, and Martin Kove is an amazing 80s bad guy. And you
can literally line up Star Wars and
this
Cobra Kai, and they line up pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's good versus bad, and gray shades, and alliances shifting.
Well, you got the main bad guy with Kreese isn't Darth Vader. He's like the Emperor.
He's Palpatine.
He's always corrupting everyone.
Yes, he's Palpatine. Yes.
All right, and like you could say that Johnny was
Darth Vader. Yes,
Johnny was Darth Vader, and now his son is like Darth Vader because he's being turned to the dark side.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it's kind of like a lot of that shit is like all the same shit that's happening in the Star Wars is happening here.
But they do a really good job, and you touched on it, of kind of providing a different lens to see these characters through. Like the Kreese stuff you're just like, oh wow, like he isn't just a bad guy. He's been through some shit. And even like I forget the girl's name that's feuding with Sam.
Oh, Tori.
Yeah. You know, she's got a terrible, like she's just got a terrible thing going on in her life. Like her mom is sick and she has a shitty neighbor that fucking like is a pedophile and wants to fuck her. Like there's just like, they don't have to do those things, but they do those things. And it just makes the show all them like every time you watch an episode, like there's times where I'm like, I know who I'm rooting for, but then there's times where I'm like, I don't know what to root for here.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know. I'm just seeing this play out and I'm like, I think I said this last time we reviewed the show. There's times where I'm watching these episodes, I'm going, man, if they could all just talk to one another and be friends. Could we just be friends? Like, I just want everyone to be friends because, like, there's good in all the characters.
Yeah. Well, it's all, it's your trope of they're not talking and it's all misunderstanding. And at the end of the season, some of that comes out between Danny and Johnny, and they see each other's side. So it's just giant misunderstandings. But let me ask you this about the Kreese backstory, right? Here's a couple of things I love. The twist in when he first started, they showed you the football jock character, and he has the 47 Ford, same car that Danny has. And then you meet the guy working at the diner, and they kind of make you think that the football character is Kreese. In fact, the dude playing him is Jesse Cove. It's Martin Cove's fucking son. Oh, the guy who plays John Kreese's son is playing that football. And then the twist that's not John Kreese. It's actually the other guy who's getting the shit kicked out of him. I thought that story was going to redeem and humanize him but by the end of it, it kind of shows you why he's such a fucking asshole, So I thought that was interesting because I was fully thinking it was going to be like a redemption but is there any good in Kreese?
Well, what do you get from the Kreese story? Let's talk about that. Yeah. So he goes to the military. Yeah. He gets put in this special program, I guess, or a special karate program.
Special ops.
That was like a special ops unit, I guess. And they get captured and then they have to fight each other and then to stay alive. Yeah. I guess as entertainment for the rest of the guys, they make the prisoners fight each other. And then his commanding officer, he lets him die.
Well, the commanding officer also withhold the story of his girlfriend possibly dying. We don't know. He could have been lying.
But he also, there is redeeming things to him because he stepped up for his friend.
Yes.
That was going to fight, I believe his commanding officer, and he was probably going to lose. So he stepped up and took the bullet for him. So I don't see why you're saying there isn't anything. He did redeemed.
Step up.
No, I'm not saying that he's not.
No, I was on to Imran. But yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying, what did you get out of the story? What was the things that you picked out? So I'm like, on many levels, he's protecting the little guy, and he hates the guy that's oppressing him.
So he did let him die because he was an asshole. Also played by Anthony Michael Hall, who is, I forget how huge he is. The little fucking skinny Anthony Michael Hall from Breakfast Club. Yeah.
What were you saying? Sorry.
The commanding officer is essentially Kreese's own Kreese.
Yeah.
Right.
He's sort of his sensei from the armed forces, and he realizes the darkness in him, is being out for himself, and he lets him die because eventually he'll take on that same,
he becomes
same mentality.
Yeah. And I love how they cut that final fight over the final fight between Johnny and Kreese and Danny and Kreese, which that was fucking amazing. The last episode was amazing. They actually got to see both of them take them on one-on-one.
Well, that's like kind of the cheese, though, show, right? This actor's 75 years old.
These are 50, 60-year-old men fighting each other.
But it's they lean into it, right?
Yeah,
it's I kind of want to see them fight, even though I know that none of these guys are actually throwing these punches.
There's more bad karate in this. I mean, all these fights, these kids, they don't really know martial arts. At least I think a lot of them do.
They were training for the show.
Well, they were training in it, I'm sure, as they were doing the show. But Peyton List, it was from the Disney Channel.
Tori, yeah.
So it's like
what you got against the Disney Channel, bro?
Hey, I got little kids. Do you believe me? I've seen that. I think she was from Jessie or one of those shows.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
But the I had to watch those shows because my daughters grew up in the Hannah Montana era. So I don't know. Maybe Peyton List took martial arts. That's very possible. But, a lot of the karate scenes are they're just all out melees over and over and over again. And like, it's not particular. I don't know that any of these kids are particularly good at karate in a real sense. And the one thing that I do sort of raise an eyebrow at, but I let it pass, is how they all join this dojo and then they immediately become experts. I'll draw an analogy to like Ludacris in Fast and the Furious. Like Ludacris in Fast and Furious starts out that series or that genre of movies as like the skinny tech guy.
Right.
And then by like part 5, he's a fucking ninja. It makes no fucking sense to me.
Oh,
so it's sort of this, and it's even more condensed and more rapid here, that progression, because Hawk goes from being able to beat up the one kid and so does Miguel. They go from being able to beat up the bully, who was obviously their Johnny,
right?
Really very, very quickly. I mean, within the matter of a few weeks. But then again, Ralph Macchio did this exact same thing. He somehow in this universe, they super learn karate super fast.
Well, I mean, that's a TV. Like Miguel wakes up at the end of the first episode. He's on his feet by episode 6. He's walking by episode 7. And by episode 10, he's in a full-on fucking karate riot. Really?
Yeah.
Like they threw him on the sofa. He's back landed on the sofa in that house fight. I was like, you should be paralyzed now. What is going on? You can't be going through this.
I mean, it's this, it's the show.
It's
I mean,
TV.
These kids are like in a gang karate war in LA. Like
karate riot.
It's already ridiculous. Like so,
it's beyond ridiculous. Yeah. It's beyond.
Like what? At the end of the day, if you were going to put that much thought into it, you were going to be like, so what is the end result? Are they going to kill each other over karate?
Yeah, over.
But it's fun. It's fucking fun.
It's so fun.
What are they really fighting for? Like, okay, so I understand. All right, you got romance and you got some like jilted lovers.
Yeah.
Well, they followed the same alley timeline, the same alley theme, that they're doing it over a girl.
But we all been there. And look, I know that maybe when I was in like high school, I probably would have punched a kid if he would have touched my girlfriend or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be like this vendetta.
Well, some of it is revenge. For Miguel was a lot of the motivation for these fights.
A lot of it's like this season. It's definitely driven. Like Tori is love, but then a lot of it's driven by Kreese, right? Like he's just kind of brainwashed these kids into being pissed off that Miguel got really fucked up by Miyagi-san or Miyagi-Do, and they just need revenge. And then by the end, they're like Hawk's character. That's actually one of the weaknesses I have, is I didn't feel like Hawk could be easily redeemed like
really?
He was.
Yeah, he just all of a sudden changed his mind.
Well, he changes his mind, and then they accept him, even the kid and his friend. What's that kid?
Dimitri. He broke his fucking arm. And Dimitri's like, all right, bro, it's okay. We're back on my side.
Good.
I was like, really?
Let's kick some ass.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of that. But it's fun. It's so much fun. But there's tons of that. Also, if you notice, the episode 9, Dimitri has the cast, right? And he draws the dick. And then I love that he hooks up with the girl and she writes, I love your big dick. But then episode 10.
That was great. That was fucking great.
If only things like that really happened.
That's the most far-fetched thing.
If only things like that would have happened to me in high school.
But then episode 10, he doesn't have the cast. Did fucking 6 weeks pass between these 2 episodes? What happened? Who cares? It doesn't matter. You got a
Well, they finished filming this, I think it's worth saying, like in September of 2019.
Yeah, a while ago. But it was the first one, I think, with Netflix money. So
how about
what else? How about
for
Okinawa?
The Karate Kid fans, I was just going to bring up the cameos. We could start with the
so good
Karate Kid Part 2, Okinawa.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that Danny was going to go to Okinawa because he had a problem with his wife and he needed some time to think or something.
They shoehorned this car dealership storyline to get him to Okinawa.
We were
ridiculous.
wrong about that, so he had to go there because of business.
Yeah, I thought,
it was a little shoehorned, but like
shoehorned.
I'm glad that they did. That was the reason.
Yeah, to save the
and
dealership.
It was nice to get the save from the girl that he saved from the
typhoon.
In the typhoon.
That was great.
Yeah. She was the one that returned the favor and got in the deal.
Just the fact that they can get all these same people back. Kumiko, Chosen, that girl, 34, 36, however many years later, is wild to think about that.
I loved Chosen because
Chosen
that character, that character was, I mean, almost unredeemable by the end of Karate Kid 2. And just the opening scene where he's like, they're sitting at the table all awkwardly. He's like, "I'll get you a drink." And he gets him the drink, and he's like, "Do you want a drink?" He's like, "I don't drink." It's like, oh my god, this is so awkward. But just for whatever reason, it worked for me that Chosen was like somehow connected to Miyagi and like was like the next step for Danny to level up.
And he got him with the honk.
That was so
and he got
great.
him with the honk,
That was fucking such a
There's
great,
a lot of Easter eggs in the
great
show.
Easter egg because I remember the honk being so funny at the end of Karate Kid 2. And he's like, I knew he was fucking with him for a little bit. And he's like, I've been waiting so long to do that. But finding the Miyagi scrolls, learning about moves that Miyagi didn't teach him, like the pressure points that, of course, come back into play at the end. It's great.
And they hit the right note, right? Like even the letter he finds that Miyagi wrote for him, or wrote to his wife while he was on his deathbed, and it mentions Danny. Like, fucking great.
But dude, every time they cut back to the old movies, I would get goosebumps. I would tear up a little, especially when they showed Pat Morita. I would fucking tear up.
He's like the soul of the show.
He is. And they've used never before seen footage from the movies in this show. Some of those clips they were never used in the movie from the cutting room floor. And I didn't mind. Some people I saw were criticizing it for all the incessant flashbacks. I think it's a perfect amount. They show you exactly what you need to remember from those movies. And it's fucking every time it got me when it went back to those movies.
Because you're willing to look past the shortcomings, because it's just so richly done.
Yeah, there's so much, like, that's the thing. And I in rewatching a few episodes and just looking for Easter eggs and stuff. I mean, they pack a lot of stuff in there. There is a lot of love in there.
So here's some of my favorite Easter eggs I pulled.
Wait.
Yeah.
Before you get to, come on, Imran. We didn't talk about Elizabeth Shue.
Whoa, yes. Okay, Allie. We have to talk about Allie. Which, hilarious that she is like the biggest star out of this whole cast all these years later. She's like the heavy hitter coming back.
You can tell she's like the best actress, too.
Yeah. She was just breastfeeding a Homelander, and now she's in this fucking show.
Yeah, I forgot that was her who was in
The Boys.
The Boys. Yeah, that's exactly right. And also, I think not only Elizabeth Shue, but Bobby and Tommy, and Tommy, who died in real life of cancer in like right
Season
around the
2.
time they finished filming this. So, I mean, that was actually real. That wasn't just like something that happened that they wrote into the story. They wrote in a real life event of this guy dying. Obviously he didn't die yet when they filmed that scene, but within months after they filmed that scene, he passed away of cancer in real life. So I mean, they and those guys got their chance to like, show who they are now. Bobby's a pastor and he's got his life together. And then I forgot who the other one was. It Dutch? No,
that's you.
That's you.
No, that's right. I wasn't there.
Predator.
But one of the other characters, and then they go into out on the ride. And they go to the bar, and of course, inevitably, some big fucker decides that he's going to start a fight with them. And then they all go into their pose, and they all still have it. And then Johnny walks into the church, and he's like yelling "fuck you" while he's rolling. And then Bobby has to kick his ass. I mean, it's just all great. It's like it sounds like a bad script as you're talking about it.
Yeah,
like if someone's listening to me talk about it, and they're like, well, this sounds really fucking stupid. You're right. It does sound really fucking stupid. But for some reason, the way they tie it all together, it works and it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony mentioned that like the original movies were not meant to be stupid. They were meant to be of course, there's like the reality of teaching someone karate by doing chores and like weird shit like that. So it's not like reality, but it's as close as they could get with Hollywood bullshit. And so this is like on another level where things are occurring that like you wouldn't get into a bar fight and be fighting somebody at 50 years old with karate. You just wouldn't do it. Like a 73-year-old guy is not going to be taken on he's going to bust his hip in 2 seconds and then die, like that's what's really going to happen.
Dude, Ralph Macchio has amazing genes. He is 59 years old.
Is he really?
Yes. Does not look it. He'd always looked like a teenager for like into his 30s.
Yeah, he was way older than he was playing.
Yeah.
Even back
just
then.
one quick thing to say. Well, not quick, but one thing to say about Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah, let's go back to Allie. I got stuff to say.
I thought they did a really good job of bringing that character back and utilizing her without her overstaying her welcome. Like you got the closure for Johnny's character. You got the closure for like, why the hell did Danny and Allie break up?
Yeah.
Like you got that closure and you like found out that Danny was kind of like a little bitch and a little bit insecure.
Yeah.
Like, so that, like, all that resolution, and then she kind of helps bring them together.
Absolutely.
Which is what you've been rooting for 3 seasons, is like, just bring these guys together, like have someone talk to them. And it's Allie that's the one that ends up bringing them together. So, and she's like still really fucking attractive and how old she is. So that helps.
She says something really, really cool. It's like the reason that they kind of dislike each other is because they see the bad parts of each other.
She lays out the whole show in that line. Yeah.
And that happens all over this show too, because like Imran said before, you seeing everything behind the fourth wall, you realize why Danny's daughter and why Hawk, and maybe not Hawk, but why like Miguel and Robbie for sure.
Right.
You see why the things happen that happen, and they're completely usually justifiable if you just knew the context.
It's all a misunderstanding. The whole show is
all
just
it is.
tons of misunderstandings.
And it shows the immaturity of youth, right? Because that's how it actually is. We see, and even today, like go on Twitter if you don't believe me, you see the one thing about someone or that someone does one thing, and you make this character analysis of the aggregate of their entire life over a tiny little thing, and it's unfair. And this show really shows that. And I think the great part is like the 80s was the age of the coming of age movie.
Yeah.
Right. So, and this is really a coming of age show for maybe for Ralph and Johnny, but specifically for Johnny, it's really a coming of age story for him.
They're growing up now.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah.
And it's, the guy the guy is literally living in the 80s, don't you have a computer? No, I'm not a nerd.
Hash brown, put a hash brown in front of it.
I mean, they Captain America him. It's so ridiculous, but yet it works that he's transported to now. And every time he makes an 80s reference or like a tough, like over the top machismo, like 1984 guy, I laugh every time. I laugh about him writing the long message on Facebook.
That was so
everything.
funny. It's photos. Remember the photos he had from the 80s?
That was so great. Yeah.
Those are real photos of him from like Teen Beat magazine that he took back in the day.
Oh, where they were?
Yes.
Oh god,
yeah, those are real. Heartthrob. Yeah.
And then he goes into school and he just like turns around and knocks this kid's books out of his hand. He's like, "Sorry, it's a bold habit." I mean, grow up, so you fuck,
dude. There's so many. The first episode,
but that's the thing. Like, this is his reckoning. This is he's gotta come to terms with. Not you're an adult now and you have responsibilities and like you have to stop all the bad shit that you're doing and all your bad habits and like your old habit of slapping a kid's books when you see
sorry,
you know what I mean? Like,
makes him the perfect anti-hero.
He still has yet to be a good father. We haven't seen that, and it's probably going to be.
Well,
next
he's doing
season.
it to Miguel, but not to his own kid.
Yep.
And that's because they have some kind of animosity and they haven't worked out their issues.
So we still need a Miguel Robbie showdown in Revenge. Is Robbie and Tori just going to be full on evil next season?
I think it's going to be.
That's a good topic.
They're going to hook up.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely hooking up.
I think Miguel and Sam are better matched, and Robbie and Tori are a better match. Makes sense.
There's going to be about season 4. Because I've been speculating this a lot. Yeah. I love that they brought them together at the end. So, I mean, we haven't gotten to that in this review yet, but at the end, the very last scene is they finally merge. Like, you can see it coming. There's building to this merger. But like, and this is the great thing about Cobra Kai as a show is that as predictable as some of the stuff is, a lot of it is really unpredictable. Like season 1, I truly had no clue who was going to win that fight, Danny or Miguel.
Yeah.
No, I had no idea.
Robbie or
Miguel.
Robbie or Miguel. Thank you. I had no clue who was going to win that fight. And like, since then, it's just, it's progressed on and on and on with just twists and turns. It's like watching a fucking soap opera as far as like, or WWF as far as like all of the twists.
Yeah.
And everything or WWE, sorry. As far as all the twists and everything, you can see I'm from the 90s. But they do all this stuff and then they get you to the end where they finally merge up together. And then you start thinking, okay, of the people who are in Cobra Kai, who is the most likely that it's going to be redeemed in season 4? And I think that's obviously Tori and Robbie. You would imagine. I don't know if they'll do that, but also how long are LaRusso and Johnny actually going to be able to coexist
put up
with
with
each other
each other.
because one's an offense guy and one's a defense guy. How are they going to run this dojo together?
That moment at the end when they're playing, what's the song they're playing? It's badass 80s song, and then Johnny walks in.
Genesis.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
Phil
the
Collins.
In the Air Tonight.
Air
Yes,
Tonight.
with ending with that cover of In the Air Tonight, and on the drum beat cue, fucking Johnny Lawrence walks into Miyagi-Do, and everybody's there. I was like, fuck yeah. I was disappointed.
Eagle Fang plus
Eagle
Miyagi-Do.
Fang. Eagle Fang. What a fucking great name. I
Can I just throw out there Danny's or LaRusso's wife?
She's
I
super
find her
hot, dude.
very,
Oh my
very
God.
attractive.
I was like, that lady is sexy. Every time I
Yeah,
saw her, I
she
was like,
is.
who is that? She's very sexy. Danny did all right for himself.
Yes.
I also love how Allie, Johnny thought he wanted to rekindle a relationship with Allie, but Allie made him realize you need to be with Miguel's mom, and he got the closure.
That scene where he walks into the door and he starts kissing her.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize until she poured the honey all over herself that this couldn't be real. But like it is so hilarious. Like he's just this pervert sitting there whacking off to her, and that's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up and he's like got his eyes closed and he's smiling. It's the best, man.
So wait, you were
I don't remember that. What happened?
He dreams of hooking up with
Allie?
Allie.
Yeah, when he first meets her.
No,
This is
not
after-
Allie. With Miguel's
Oh,
mom.
Miguel's mom. Sorry, yeah,
right.
Oh, okay.
And it's a dream.
Yeah, where he like barges in, like straight out of a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Where you just go for it. That's what he imagines.
Like that scene in
recall
Joker.
that for some
I don't
reason.
He
remember that
knocks
either.
on the door and she goes, Miguel's not here. He's like, I'm not here for Miguel. And he grabs her.
And it was,
and
it
they've
was
got
probably
this Casablanca kiss. And then then all of a sudden she's pouring like horchata over herself and stuff like that. It's just, it's amazing.
That
and she,
stuck
by
out.
the way, is also very attractive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Word.
They got a good looking cast.
Speculating for next season at the very end of the season 10, Kreese. We find out
Calls Terry Silver,
calls
right?
his buddy Twig that is possibly Terry Silver.
Oh, it's definitely Terry Silver.
Anthony, who is Terry Silver?
Terry Silver was actually born, like that character was born to be on Cobra Kai because that character is so over the top in Karate Kid season part 3. He is Kreese's friend that he calls in Karate Kid part 3 who has a lot of money and invests it in like dumping oil in bad places or something.
Toxic waste.
Toxic waste, yes. And he helps him. He wants to create a Cobra Kai empire with him, but they first have to take out Danny in a tournament.
Yeah.
He's made for Cobra Kai because he was too over the top in Karate Kid Part 3.
Yeah. The great thing about him is he's this rich guy that like kind of just puts everything on hold to fuck with a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like for like a few months.
He's like skinny Steven Seagal.
Yes, he looks like
that.
but rich.
Yeah.
But he's successful in turning LaRusso bad, like to the dark side for a while before he goes back.
Yeah, he
to
does turn LaRusso to the dark side.
Yeah,
he makes him hit boards until his hands bleed, and he starts laughing maniacally.
What, was he in 4 also, Terry Silver, or just in 3?
No.
He was just in 3.
There's word though that what's her face from $1 Million Baby who played
Hilary Swank.
Oh yeah, from
Hillary
4.
Hilary Swank and Barnes is going to come
Wait,
back.
they're going to bring
Yeah.
back Hilary Swank?
They're saying it's an inevitability.
What is that on the poster? Karate Kid's bad or Karate's bad boy? That's Barnes,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's Barnes.
I hated Karate Kid Part 3.
I didn't like it either, but I mean, I do like the idea of Silver, just how silly it
Yeah,
is.
that is.
It works better.
Bring on
Cobra
Terry
Kai.
Silver, yes.
Yeah, I feel like the idea of Silver is great.
That's one you guys got to. Karate Kid 3 is horrible.
It's bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
And next Karate Kid is even worse.
There's been a lot of talk about that though too. Is because Will Smith is the executive producer
of that? Yeah, that was the Jaden Smith.
No,
Jackie
that's
Chan one.
the
Hilary Swank one.
the Hilary Swank one is next Karate Kid. The Karate
right.
Kid reboot is the Will Smith.
with Jackie Chan.
And
but
they're doing Kung Fu. It doesn't count.
Will Smith is the executive producer of Cobra Kai, the television show.
Is he? No, he's not.
Yes, look it up.
Really?
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
Absolutely.
shit.
I just looked it up.
Wow.
So there is a probability that there will be tie-in to that movie as well.
Oh, so you could bring
Wow.
Jaden. You could bring Jaden into
mean, you
the
could.
fucking end.
That's when the
Second
show is
shit.
completely jumped.
Okay,
apart.
so I think of one more
As soon as
season.
the power of nepotism comes in,
I agree with what you said, Anthony. Is there? I think they got like 3 more seasons, but after
Whoa, I wouldn't even go. I think they got like
more,
one or two.
I think after one more, it's good. It's done.
I think
Finish it out.
one more, and we're done.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is Kreese is really That's the thing is Kreese in Karate Kid lore, Kreese is really the end boss, right?
Yeah.
Like he is the end boss of Mario Brothers. So once you get past him, you how are you going to pull from that lore a different boss, unless it ends up being Silver somehow, like he doesn't come in until the very last show of next year. But ultimately, how do you get worse than Kreese?
You don't.
They're gonna have to kill him
Karate
next
Kid
season.
lore.
They just have Zombie Sato show up.
Sato, yes.
But Sato's redeemed.
There was
so it doesn't
another
make sense.
Yeah, Sato
Easter
was
egg.
already redeemed in the movie.
Yeah.
But
That's
they
another
missed that
Easter
though,
egg.
because Johnny is kind of, if you think about it, in the beginning of Karate Kid Part 2, I had thought of Johnny as already redeemed.
He was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
He was redeemed in a sense, but this show did something you didn't think you'd ever want, which is a show kind of featuring Johnny Lawrence's further redemption.
From his point of view. Yeah. He never grew up. Okay, a couple of Easter eggs I love. There's, like you said, Ruggs, there's fucking chock full. A couple of the ones I caught that I liked. And the first episode had a lot of funny lines. That whole PTA meeting where they're talking about, first of all, they go, there's a full-scale karate riot in the town. And I was like, that's hilarious. The news lady saying that. But then in that meeting that they were going to ban karate, Danny gets up. He goes, when I went to school here, I was bullied and karate saved me. And there's a dude in the back goes, bullshit. I heard you were the bully. It's funny.
The only thing that I think is really stupid that no one's mentioning is that whenever Johnny is bullying Ralph Macchio or whatever, Danielson, he's always got like 5 guys. So how is it that one skinny kid is going to bully the 5 guys? Like, obviously, that's not how
he had a gang with him.
Come on.
But still, it's fucking hilarious.
The flipping the script on that, I think sometimes it's reaching. Big time. Super reaching.
It made me think about the story in a different way. I mentioned the 97 Ford that he has. That comes from the Karate Kid. That's the car Miyagi gave Danny as a birthday present. And the studio actually gave the car to Ralph Macchio as a gift.
He tells the story of the car, too.
Yeah, he tells the story of the car, with his great.
It's a 47 Ford, but yeah.
What? Oh, I said 57. 47.
No, you said 97.
Did I? 1947. Great year.
Yeah.
That soccer fight between Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, homage to the soccer scuffle between Daniel and Cobra Kai in the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
I loved when he's in Okinawa and they're at the bar, they put the ice down for the drinks, and it's like the ice from him breaking the ice in the second movie.
That's the second time that they did that, because they did he was going to break ice in the park. Remember, he was going to do a demo?
Oh, that's right. That's right. He had the ice set up. And then Miguel finds the hand drum that you also see in the scene, in the flashback scene, which is still, that's such a fucking, just the fact that he's like, I had to fight to the death for this girl. Let's think about that for a second. That's crazy. The last episode was called December 19th was the title of the episode. That is a reference to Danny and Johnny's showdown at the All Valley Tournament. Happened on December 19th. You had the skeleton hoodies. Tori's wearing skeleton hoodies like Johnny's gang back in the original movies. And then a lot of the same songs. A lot of the 80s songs they used, they played again from the movies in the same kind of moments during the dates between Johnny and Allie and
they also
Dan.
haven't changed the signage at the All Valley Tournament since
it's
the
80s.
The
same. Yeah, it's the same dated logo. I love.
They went to golf and stuff.
It's so good, dude. There's so many things. Okay, look, good stuff. Let's rate it, rank it amongst the seasons if you like. Jasen Dutch, let's start with you. If you had to give it a number out of 10, what would you give this season?
All right. I know I said earlier I'll give it a 5 out of 5, but realistically speaking, I mean, for what this is, and this show is not a show that you're supposed to watch and take it completely seriously. On a fun factor, it is a 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
On a overall factor, as far as like when you bring in like the acting and everything like that, the acting is probably like a 6.5. But when you weight those two things together, I people might call me stupid or like whatever. This is like a 9.5 because it accomplishes what it set out to do.
Yeah.
Which is to tell you this coming of age story for Johnny and for the kids, you know, to have a lot of fun with it, to give you the nostalgia and really to develop and flush out these characters, in a really, that have really been enigmatic for years because you haven't seen them, as with most 80s movies. You know, so it accomplishes exactly what it sets out to do, and the twists and turns are great. So I unapologetically give this a 9.5 out of 10.
That's good. That's a good score. Anthony, what do you got? Oh, and as far as seasons, did you prefer it over the other seasons?
So you know,
Can you even tell the seasons apart?
Yeah, it's hard for me to do that because I watched them all together.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that that they went to Okinawa, this one and they brought in Allie, I have to put it above the other two. And also, I will say the acting was better in season 3 than it was in. So I was kind of bummed they didn't bring Aisha back because I liked her character. But they did say she might come back for season 4.
No Aisha or Stingray. I was also missing.
Which one was Stingray?
Stingray, the older chubby dude with the
oh yeah,
goatee.
That's right. He wasn't bad. See, I liked that character, but what the hell? That I don't mean to break more time here, but I'm going to. When he goes to that party with the girl, and he's got the 40 ounces taped to his hands, and she's like, "I thought we were going to your buddy's house," and it's like all high school. He's got like this 30-year-old chick, and they're hanging out at a high school party, and she's like. It's the funniest shit, dude. Good. Like, this guy's just a total dildo, and he's
it's so funny. I don't know what happened with Aisha. She said something that the writers said they couldn't find something for her, and she had lost all this weight to be in the season, and then found out she wasn't in it. So I don't know what was going on there. Anthony, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to go 8.5.
Okay.
I think it's still really good. Yeah, I don't really have much criticism other, I'm just, if I had to give it like a critical eye, that's probably why I'm taking off a 1.5, just because you can't you can't with a straight face say this is a 10 out of 10 show for sure. Like everything is just perfect. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But it's just so fucking fun. And it's so reverential to the old stuff. And they hit all the right notes. Like, it's pitch perfect in terms of like the line they want to be on, where it's cheesy, yet there's like times when it's serious and there's times when it's just fun.
Yeah.
So they hit all the right notes most of the time. And as far as ranking it amongst seasons, oh man, I think I liked season 2 the best.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I think season 2 probably was my most fun, but I feel like it's right there with season 1 in terms of like because of some of the nostalgia stuff. And season 1 was such a surprise. Honestly, though, I feel like all 3 seasons are like equally good.
They are very good equally. Okay, Ruggs, what are you going to give it?
I think I would kind of agree that season 2 had more interesting drama going on, and this one was more of a fan servicey type of a season. I did think the acting was better, and you had some people to come in to actually raise the bar, like Elizabeth Shue coming in and raising the bar. So I think overall was a good season. I enjoyed it a lot, so I'm going to give it like an 8, 8.5.
Okay.
I'll go with Anthony's score because I did think it was good, but I do notice some of the flaws, but I do have fun with it. So
don't notice it. Look away.
Let me ask one quick question before Nerd gives his and so there was the part where he was in jail, where he was at the juvie.
Robbie,
and he's getting bullied by the black dude and his 2 boys.
Right.
So, but at the end of it, they sort of give each other the respect nod.
Well, because he beat the shit out of him.
That's important to the series. Like, is that kid coming back?
Oh,
maybe,
possibly.
They do it because of they don't snitch on each other.
Yeah,
right.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that kid coming back.
Because Robbie has those other Yahoo friends who are in prison, and
I really wanted Robbie to kick their ass, though, so I was happy to see him stick up for himself.
Yeah, that was great. Robbie did get kind of sidelined this whole season, which is one thing, but it's fine. It's whatever.
Maybe he'll be the focus
I feel like he will, and now he has a reason to be on Kreese's side, and he feels everybody betrayed him, but did enjoy
everybody but the crazy homeless lady at the soup kitchen.
That's right. She's on his side. Oh yeah, he was at the soup kitchen.
The fact that they even bring her back, I think she was in season 1.
Oh, she was that lady?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
She was the lady that was like standing out when he's looking for a dojo.
Oh, in the very beginning.
Yeah. When he's waiting in his car.
Dude, there's so many callbacks. They do such a good job. Again, it's like fucking Star Wars. They're treating it. I'm going to give this season a 9 because I just love their aggressive nostalgia. It fucking works. I like this better than last season. The first season, though, is phenomenal because of what you said, Anthony. It was so surprising. Yeah, I had no idea I wanted to see this story from fucking Johnny Lawrence's point of view, and now this is all I want.
I look forward to this the next season. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just hoping they don't jump the shark.
I'm looking forward to the tournament. I thought we were going to see the tournament at the end of the season, but then I was like, oh, fuck, it's over. they're kind of stretched it out, but it worked.
I believe you got to end it with the All Valley with Robbie Miguel rematch.
Yes, that's the fucking shit right
So wait,
there.
all right. So like, what do you think? Let's do predictions for next season. What do you think's gonna happen? If you could boil it down, to like,
Dimitri will break Hawk's arm. I think.
Well, when you add in Terry Silver, like,
oh yeah,
that's when shit got ridiculous in Karate Kid Part 3. So I feel like
anything can happen.
It can get really weird.
So Terry Silver shows up. He takes Cobra Kai and they start breaking boards.
Yeah,
and they start doing weird shit. And I think that he's gonna start actually doing like manipulation shit, like that's on another level.
Do you think he's gonna come in right away, Rug Boy? Or like,
I feel like he'll be like either the first or second episode he'll be in.
Really? I was surprised they waited.
Yeah, because Cobra Kai doesn't fuck around. They just do it.
I mean, they waited like 8 episodes to give you Allie.
How far did we have to wait to get Kamiko? We went right in. Boom.
It was right there. Yeah,
right in Okinawa.
Right in the middle.
So.
2 episodes too. I wasn't expecting 2 episodes.
Chosen right there. Boom.
Yeah, but Allie, they waited till fucking episode 9 to fucking pull the Allie card. But it was it was organic. It made sense. Terry. So Kreese. Everything is riding on this. He has to leave. He's desperate. He can't. And who else does he have? He has Tori. He has Robbie. He's got the Asian asshole kid probably still.
Well, if they go by what was canon in Karate Kid Part 3,
yes,
Kreese intended on making Cobra Kai dojos everywhere.
Oh,
so maybe they just expand on that, and now
with
there's
Terry
like
Silver's money,
a fucking a giant like a military Cobra Kai.
Franchise. He franchises it. With the
they're gonna storm the Capitol.
They're gonna storm that goddamn park that they're at.
Karate, yes, they are. Yeah, they need a place to practice. First of all, no, they're all at Miyagi-Do now. Yeah. Miyagi-Do is back, and they're all learning.
So I
together.
think that like Robbie and Tori or whatever are going to hook up.
Yeah,
and then Miguel and what's her face,
Sam.
They're gonna be together, and then maybe her friend will come back, and then she'll confess her feelings for Sam, and there'll be a love triangle.
So, do you guys think Robbie and Tori are going to turn to the light side of the Force?
Yes, I think at the end of the day, everyone gets redeemed.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to kill Kreese to end his fucking story. Like, as long as he's still alive, he's not going to go away. You're going to have to
Maybe
kill him.
He'll fall into a pile of snakes.
Maybe Kreese just has like a coronary.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And he takes himself out.
They could give him a heart attack or something. I was thinking about that too.
Yeah,
because he has to die at some point.
I think I know how it's going to happen.
How?
I just thought of it. Actually, what that joke I just said. He's going to get bit by his own cobra, the one in the cage.
Oh, shit. Maybe. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, that was crazy. He's feeding the rats to the fucking snake.
Think about it, though. It brings back... That's how he let his commanding officer die.
Yeah, snakes.
And they're all about bringing stuff back.
In the pit. Yeah, good stuff. All right. All right, look. We're going to do some quick news from the nation and wrap up. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
David Zika posted a graphic in response to our last episode with Gerald Morris from Two Peas on the Pod, where we ended up talking about one of our favorite subjects, sandwiches. We always love sandwiches. And so, Ruggs, I want you to explain. David Zika has given us the sandwich alignment chart. I find this fascinating. Can you explain it to the listener and let me know what your thoughts are on this?
I can't really explain this because I'll be reading for 3 hours and you it's a visual thing. So basically it's like a tic-tac-toe board. You got 9 slots, you know, and in the middle is the true neutral, which they say is the hot dog.
Yes.
In the world of sandwiches. Now you have a structure side.
Structure
and you
matrix.
have another side that's about ingredients.
Ingredient matrix, yes.
So that's the matrix. So basically, the purest sandwich is going to be on one corner, which is going to be like a BLT or a regular, like a roast beef sandwich. And then you're going to go to the most oddly...
The most rebel, anarchic sandwich, which would be what?
So you have ingredient rebel, which means that you don't adhere to whatever it is. And then you have the structure rebel. A structure would be like... has to be something that's contained in between two things, I guess, like bread.
Right.
So the last one in the far corner is a Pop-Tart. Is Pop-Tart a sandwich?
So this matrix goes from a purest BLT to structure ingredient rebel Pop-Tart and everything in between with the hot dog being in the middle. I know where.
I mean, I can't really explain it to you on a podcast.
Right. But where do you land? I know where I stop as far as what I term a sandwich.
Like how far do you go before it's not a sandwich?
Anthony, what do you think? How far do you go before it's not a sandwich? And do you agree with this matrix?
Yeah, once it gets to these ingredients, that's when I get out. Some of these like sweeter sandwiches, like
an ice cream sandwich,
and all that stuff.
That's
I don't
a
really
sandwich.
consider that a fucking. I mean, it is a sandwich, but nah.
As soon as you get to the part where like it's no longer two pieces of bread and it's like a burrito, then I'm like, okay, it's not really a sandwich.
Jasen Dutch,
like a gyro is a sandwich, but this is not.
Jasen Dutch, what do you think is a hot dog a sandwich? I stop right before that. I am structure neutral ingredient purist. A Subway is a sandwich. The next thing is hot dog. I'm out. I stop right there.
I can understand making a wrap a sandwich.
It's not a sandwich. It's a wrap.
I can forgive it though. I can forgive it, and I suppose that literally speaking, a hot dog is a sandwich. I guess so.
No.
Just because we don't call it that. An ice cream sandwich is a sandwich because it is a fucking sandwich, but an ice cream taco would therefore be a part, kind of a.
No, an ice cream taco is a taco. It's not a sandwich. Anyways, listener.
But it's a taco a sandwich.
The taco is not a sandwich. It's a taco. That's what it is.
But then why is a hot dog and not?
But it's
hot dog is not a
sandwich from Latin America.
What, the burrito?
A hot dog is I think a hot dog is a sandwich. But it's just such an iconic thing on its own. You never call it a sandwich.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't go, let me get a hot dog sandwich.
I mean, that's the same thing as a burger. You don't say, let me get a burger sandwich. But I think a burger is a type of sandwich, so maybe I'm wrong.
It is a type of sandwich, so is a hot dog.
So, listener, if you look at your podcast app, you will see this chart. It will be in the show notes. I want you to comment. Let me know where you fall.
But, do you think a gyro is? I think the gyro is the outlier because
a gyro meaning pita bread with gyro meat rolled together.
Yeah,
love it.
So like,
I don't know if that's a sandwich, right? I don't think that's a sandwich. No, I don't think it's a sandwich.
Even though it's not two pieces of bread, it's still one piece of bread that's folded like.
Now, if you open the pita and make it a pocket and put shit in there, is that a sandwich?
If we're going by like just wrapping things in
other
like,
things,
wheat or like starch, then yeah, I guess so.
Well, a submarine sandwich is a sandwich. It's the same type of fold over thing.
So I stop at burrito.
Yeah, I've never really considered a burrito a sandwich. No. But I guess if we're like analyzing what a sandwich really is, I guess I could see it. The Pop-Tart though, that's not a fucking sandwich. That's not a fucking sandwich.
Some
no, it's a donut.
If you are a radical ingredient and structure rebel,
that's just a piece of bread with like shit on it.
It's an enclosed fucking thing. It's not even food.
Pizza is a sandwich then.
What?
Yeah, if you're going Pop-Tart's a sandwich, then pizza
Pizza's more of a sandwich than Pop-Tart.
Anyways, this David Zika, this sandwich chart just threw me for a loop.
If you eat a pizza like a New York style pizza and you fold it over, does it become a sandwich?
No.
It's a cheese sandwich.
No, it's still not a sandwich. Calzone is a sandwich? No, I don't know.
Fuck, right. Someone fucking settle this for me.
I got no answers from this matrix, from this sandwich chart.
It's actually made things worse.
It has.
Here, let's define it. If both hands are on bread,
sandwich.
It's sandwich.
I got bread for you to put hands on.
See, I made this analogy when I made this exact analogy when I was talking about fandom.
Yeah.
About how it's not the same thing, even though it's the same
thing. Is
a
fan a sandwich? No. Okay, anyways, enough with the sandwich. I just thought it was, I wanted to see what you guys thought. It's just as confusing as we started. Fine. Jess Rivera posted this link to this story asking Geek Boner or Floppy Jock. The story is this movie, Crazy Samurai, has the world's first 77-minute one-take action film sequence.
Oh, shit.
I love one-take fucking things.
77 minutes is the whole movie.
That's the whole movie is one long, it's called Crazy Samurai 400 versus 1. There is a trailer. I will put it in the show notes. It says the highlight of this extraordinary film is a 77-minute action sequence shot in one continuous take. Director Yuji Shimamura has crafted an epic achievement in action choreography around this guy, Saguchi, who plays Japan's most legendary swordsman, Miyamoto Musashi, a warrior undefeated in at least 60 documented duels. So this dude in this 77-minute movie is fighting 400 people off in one crazy shot.
I mean, I've seen this before, but just never in one shot.
I fucking love one shots. We guys.
I mean, you watch Kill Bill, the same shit happens.
It's a good point.
She fucking fights like 200 guys.
Yeah, but it's not one shot.
Not one
the
shot.
choreography needed to do this. So I had to look up what is the longest one shot sequence in TV and movies. On television, there is an Indian drama called The Inheritance CID 111, broadcast in November 2004. They had a 111-minute long single take. It currently holds the Guinness World Record for the longest single shot on TV.
Oh, shit.
Well, I can fucking beat that because when I was a little kid, I made a movie with my video camera and I never turned it off.
It's still
and
going.
So it's the whole yes, it's still. Yeah,
it's the most boring movie ever. Rug Boy's backyard.
At Bert and Ernie's house.
This is a still shot for 200 minutes. This is new record, Guinness World Record holder.
You know when you leave the camera on, it's just pointed at the ceiling?
Yes, or the floor.
You just see shadows every once in a while.
Can I tell you how many of our vacation videos back in the day when we go with the family VHS camcorder that you have on your shoulder and you hang? We went to Disney World. There's 3 hours of tape of just the floor and my dad's feet and the camera swinging because he didn't turn it off. There you go.
It's a one shot.
That's a one shot.
Yeah, it's one shot. It counts.
One shot in Disney World.
The structure alignment chart, or the one shot alignment chart. That's still a one shot.
It's structure.
Now, the ingredients aren't all that great of the one shot, but the structure's still there.
The structure
upload it to YouTube and you get the record.
Well, the longest in film. Unbroken shot in cinema's history is a movie called Victoria by Sebastian Schipper, 2015, 2 hours, 18 minutes.
Oh, shit.
Shot. It's 138 minutes. So that's the longest in film. I love when the filmmakers try this shit. It's always very fascinating to see.
As podcasters, we do that every week.
Yeah. Just keep going. One shot. Speaking of which, Jason, thanks for hanging out. What's coming up? You did already said on The Dig. What's coming up on The Dig, and where can people find
America, it? I don't fucking know because we haven't. This will be 200 for Voice from the Underground and the final show for that. Again, it's going to be more politics and social issues and stuff like that. We're still going to talk some pop culture and intertwine it in a way, but we're going to try to focus it and make it a little bit more niche-y going forward. So. It's really going to be just the dig on America. What's going on in America that matters, and our opinion on it, especially in this not really post-Trump, but post-Trump presidency world. Trumpism, MAGAism is not going anywhere, unfortunately. So we'll see that. But Sunday's the live stream. It'll be the last live stream as Voice from the Underground. We go live at 10:30 Central PM on YouTube. And in the short term, you can find the show you can go to vfupodcast.yolasite, YOLASITE.com and get all of our links there. And the biggest thing you can do to help us if you want to is subscribe on YouTube. You can just search for Voice from the Underground YouTube or go to youtube.com/Voice from the Underground podcast and find it there. And then when you see the name change, all of the if you're already subscribed or whatever, it's not going to change. It's going to be the same iTunes feed.
Current feed will be, it'll have the new stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just going to change the name of the podcast.
Looking forward to all that. It's good. It's a good time. It's a good time to change. I am. Look, it's 2021. Shit is changing up in Washington. It's a good time to change and pivot and see what the fuck happens.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for hanging out and for your passion for Cobra Kai, because I know you love the shit.
Love it.
One little announcement. I want to shout out this website, podcastsuggestions.com. We got suggested.
Oh, shit.
To be picked up by Homeland Security again. No, it wasn't that. It's a new website. This guy just started January 2021 called Podcast Suggestions. Every month, they will have a list of podcasts that they suggest, and they picked us as one of the honorees.
Did they pick us, or did you suggest?
No, I didn't suggest nothing. They reached out to me on Instagram. Thank you, Podcast Suggestions. Sent me this graphic saying you guys are awarded the certificate honoree for the first month. So I just want to shout them out. Find them on Instagram. I'll put links in the show notes. Visit podcastsuggestions.com. It's Ruggs. Where can the listener find you online?
You can find me at Really Rug Boy on Twitter. I'm not really doing much now, but I'll
he's on Parler.
Find something to complain about.
He's on Parler and Terminal and
I am not on Parler.
Telegraph and the other one, and Signal. He's just follow Heather Antos, and then you'll see his Twitter account next to hers.
Every once in a while, you'll see me comment on it.
Did you guys see the real quick that someone started a Twitter account called John Barron?
I have seen, yes,
which was Trump's like with a mustache picture with a mustache.
I was like, hey guys, I'm new here. How's it going?
It was great.
Yeah,
37,000 followers
Instantly.
in 45 minutes, and then they deleted him.
Oh, and then it was gone. Wow.
Yeah, they banned
They
it.
deleted him because it was too funny.
Yeah, Twitter is idiotic, and they banned it.
Oh, Twitter banned. Oh my God,
Twitter banned it?
Yeah,
I thought he would have left just to fuck around even more. Like he banned
it wasn't
himself.
really Trump. It was just some asshole.
No, I know that. But it would have been funny if, it would have been funny if he could have carried out the gag, but also would have been funny if that was the one tweet and then he made it like Twitter banned him. They found him.
Yes.
And he had to keep creating these new accounts.
Yes, that's would have been hilarious where he's there for a little bit, gets millions of followers, and disappears.
You got to follow the Trump.
And you got to keep finding him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm over here now.
Now I'm Danielo Chavez. Hola, guys. I love America.
He has a Mexican hat on and a mustache in the photo. That'd be great. The Twitter satire account's some of the best shit you're going to find sometimes. It's genius.
Tweets of God is one of my favorite.
That's a great one.
Satirical.
I like Tatiana McGrath. That's usually funny.
What's that one?
Who?
That's like some guy who pretends to be a girl and just and basically says the most wokest things, but it's like anti-woke. It's like uses wokeness against,
Wow, that's kind of clever.
Wokeness can be funny.
That's kind of
like Karate Kid or Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
We all just need to hug each other, but don't actually touch each other.
Cobra Kai never die. Listener, thanks for listening. Check out the show notes at jockandnerd.com/364 for all the links on all the shit we talked about, links to our store to buy the new look, how to subscribe, support, stay in touch, all of Jason's things. Links are there. And, of course, as always, tell a friend. Share the show with your pets, friends, with your friends and your family and your gardener and the mailman and whoever you run into.
Jock and Nerd.
Tell them about the show. We'll love you forever. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I'm very tired of the Tom Brady Dick Suck Fest.
Oh,
I fucking loved it.
you too, huh?
I'm pumped.
Let's go suck Tom Brady's dick.
I tell that to Bert and Ernie every time I see them.
Jock and Nerd.